Hello, this is Penta. The following video is a compilation of a series of YouTube shorts I made for the Bricks in Motion channel last year, counting down my picks for the top 5 brick films of each year, starting from 2001 as that was the first real full year of the community. I consider the older BIM community classics to still contain a level of structure and originality that could serve people well to take influence from today, and I guess this series was also my attempt to lure people away from short form content and show them examples of brick films that have had staying power over the years, as well as just being another excuse to keep some history alive. As these are my picks, they will naturally primarily reflect what was well regarded on Bricks in Motion and the precursor to Bricks in Motion over the years, though there are plenty that are also more widely known, plus a few that weren't known by much of anyone at the time. With this being a compilation of shorts, it will be somewhat repetitive and densely packed, but hopefully it will still serve as a useful resource to introduce new people to classic brick films. So, without further ado, Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2001. Number 5, Legos Are Not Enough by 4 Guys 1 Brain. The first of 2 lengthy James Bond brick films with a parody style that suits the old school Lego vibe.
Good God, girl, I don't even know your name.
At number 4 is La Gorsica by some Finnish guys. An offbeat action comedy that is quite bizarre and ambitious in its scenarios. Number 3. I'm going to cheat here and include both Also Thwacked Zarathustra and The Big Match by Thomas Foote. Released simultaneously, these films each feature amusing character animation and antics, including with the beloved classic Lego monkeys. At number 2, Monty Python and the Holy Grail in Lego by Spite Your Face. Part recreation and part parody, this official brick film is one of the best known of the era and still has a strong aesthetic and fun feel. And at number 1, of course, is The Gauntlet by Jay Silver. A game changer that helped pave the way for making brick films that actually felt like movies. The Gauntlet was a staple for years to come and remains an unassailable classic that can still be learned from today. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2002. Number 5, Fast Forward 2. Although not seen by the community until many years later, this film is remarkable in the scale of its action and sets. Number 4 is Fell in Love with a Girl, the official White Stripes music video with distinct brick-built visuals and montage style, and which is actually real brick photography throughout. At number 3, Rise of the Empire by Jay Silver. Another game changer from Jay that blew people's minds at the time with the level of digital effects that could be achieved by a hobbyist, and which was hugely influential on the best subsequent Star Wars brick films. Number 2 is Good Company by Halley. A story-focused psychological horror classic that brought the influence of literature and ambiguous films to brick filming.
Kurtz?
And number 1, The Han Solo Affair by Spite Your Face. The first and still the best official Star Wars brick film, with wonderful visuals and original music. I still pull this up when I need inspiration for cartoony character animation or framing. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2003. Number 5 is Prisoner John 3, Back and Pissed. A cult favourite to some, featuring time travel, crude humour, funny voice acting and original music.
You're messing around with the wrong cowboy.
Number 4 is Great Inventors Part 2 by Stefan von Swam. An inventive caveman comedy with great naturalistic settings and fun scenarios. At number 3 is Out of Time by Oblong Pictures. An iconic and influential duo film with understated humour and solid technical aspects all around.
The neighbours are starting to notice, you know.
Number 2, The Letter by JamesFM. The quintessential brick film slapstick comedy about an unfortunate man on a mission to post a letter, this film was noted at the time for its depiction of city streets that really felt alive. Also watch JamesFM's Zero Gravity Rebellion. And this is my list, so of course I'm putting Taco Trouble at number 1. Somewhat of an outsider brick film whose stilted qualities inexplicably make everything funnier, Taco Trouble is a 14-minute Biff and Mario adventure with idiosyncratic humour, a gratuitous battle scene, and a good sequel too. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2004.
What's your problem?
A strong year with many staples, it's a shame to have to leave off the list, but... Number 5, Crispy Teaser. A distinctly cartoony brick film with animation unlike other films of the era, and which still holds up. Number 4 is Totentans by Go Let Go. A gothic horror with standout sets and camera work, great music and incredible vibes. At number 3, I'm cheating again and including both Alada Baba Bad and Star Wars The Great Disturbance by Left Field Studios. One a summer contest winning classic, the other an iconic early feature-length brick film, each from the sharpest brick film comedy troupe of this era. Number 2, The Peril of Doc Ock. The final magnum opus from Spite Your Face, which technically speaking was simply in a league of its own for this time. And number 1, no prizes for guessing, it's the Citizen of the Year by Watson Films. With memorably depicted characters, funny scenarios and excellent line deliveries, once you see the light it never gets old.
I don't deny it.
Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2005.
This is a money.
Motherland!
Number 5. Special Deliverance. Another standout with the comedic stylings of Left Field Studios, inspired by It's a Wonderful Life.
It could have been worse. She was going to be executed, and she did survive that fall.
At number 4, Dr. Jobs and a Scary Laboratory, a unique brick film from Japan with distinct animation and custom pieces, depicting a classic machine-making breakfast scenario. Number 3 is Frankenstein by Nosna Boris. When it comes to horror brick films, this one has always been regarded as remarkably effective, with notable atmosphere and ability to upset children. Number 2, Cognizance by Comet Green, a classic short about a hitman beginning to see the world in a new light, conveyed well visually. And number 1, a contender for best brick film of all time, Robota by Marc Berthaud. This is more of a legitimate short film that actually had funding, which shows in the distinctive production design and cinematography. I tell people to watch this at any excuse I get. Go watch it! Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2006.
Nobody cares.
Number 5, Back to School by James Moore, a comedy short with an iconic central performance.
Answer me!
Number 4 is Triumph of the Empire by Leyden, a clever marriage of Star Wars with propaganda film stylings.
We cannot pay.
Number 3, Beast by Nathan Wells. I may find it amusingly cheesy now, but I'm still charmed by its ambition, and I remember the impact it made on the people who were new at the time I was.
This is incredible.
At number 2, Faithless by Grayscale. This one has fallen by the wayside, but was big at the time. Although some elements don't entirely land, it's aiming so much higher than most brick films and still looks remarkably good. And number 1, Grace by Nosna Boris. When I was a kid, this seemed like impossible wizardry, hugely ahead of its time in terms of animation, lighting and quality of voice acting and original music. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2007. A very stacked year, and I could easily change the order, but number 5, The Frankie Job by Dave Pickett. Lesser known but with some devoted fans, this is a unique and surreal detective brick film involving a race of characters that are part animal.
Might be able to find the killer turned her down.
At number 4, The Artist by Mirko, a quintessential sort of brick film with a nice concept and execution. Number 3 is Driven by Nathan Wells, a dystopian brick film with distinct standout sets, camera work, colour palette and effects. Number 2, America Outlawed, Doug Vandergrift's iconic 36-minute western with classic Lego swag that is quite well voice acted and maintains a sense of humour throughout. And number 1, Little Guys by Pick Animation. Not only a standout for the unique brick-built characters and massive scale, but also for the execution of the subtly comedic tone and the old commercial style.
Look out, it's Little Guys by Pick Animation.
Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2008. An eventful year, but another with a strong lineup of films. An honourable mention due to no English subtitles goes to La Légende de Ben and Jerry's. Check this out anyway, as it contains everything you could possibly imagine and more. Number 5, 30 Years, The Story of the Minifigure by Nathan Wells. Nathan has always been known for his expertise at set design, and this historical montage film was his ultimate showcase in this era. At number 4, 802-701 by Go Lego, an adaptation of a H.G. Wells story with Go Lego's signature set design and use of colour and pieces. Number 3, Gaston's Odyssey by France and Alex. A lengthy adventure in a land with centaur people, this is a quirky brick film with a very distinct identity. Number 2 is Henri and Edmond in The New Neighbour by Maxime Marion, a funny and well-made beginning to one of the best ever series in brick filming. And number 1, Unrenewable by Smeagol. When this came out, we knew we were witnessing a future classic. Unrenewable feels like an actual world, with an involving plot, distinct visuals, and fabulous music also by Smeagol. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2009. Number 5, Nightly News at 9 Chapter 1, most of which was released in 2009. The beginning of one of the best brick film series, chock full of originality and colourful characters. Number 4 is First Class by Mr. Mullock, a 13-minute film about a robot on a quest to deliver a package, with creative and entertaining animation and scenarios throughout, plus well-chosen music. Number 3, Through the Hatch by Namchild, a high-spirited, phenomenal showcase of Lego vehicles and figures chasing throughout a real house, with explosive practical effects. At number 2, Days of Our Pizza by Keshen, a classic brick film comedy sketch which follows a situation that gets more ridiculous as it goes along, with standout voice acting. And number 1, an all-time favourite of mine, The River by Night Owl. The crowning achievement by one of the most singular artists ever in this hobby, The River features unparalleled cinematography that draws you into its ambiguous narrative and is unlike most anything else in brick filming. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2010.
Get the boom microphone out of my face!
Number 5, Zombie Genesis by Jonathan Vaughan, which follows the making of a zombie movie using real zombies with a deluded director. At number 4, The Force Unleashed by Fancy Pants. Winner of a lightsaber duel animation challenge on Brickfilm, The Force Unleashed spread far and wide as a technical showcase. Number 3 is Printed Circuit Brickit by Oblong Pictures, who in this era pioneered digital face animation that actually looked like Lego prints. An official music video that tells a story well visually, with nice set design. Number 2, The Pilgrim's Son by Captain Bulldog, whose YouTube channel is gone, but whose films can be found on the Brickfilms wiki. At 25 minutes long, this film is able to depict the distinct personalities of many characters, and is charming overall. And number 1, both Stranger Than Fishin' and The Profession by Mindgame, take your pick. Two essentials from one of the most consistent and well-rounded brick film makers, demonstrating intuition for both comedy and action. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2011. This year has some big ones. Number 5. Jack and Jordan in Abducted, a 35-minute hidden gem with homemade charm that incorporates claymation and nice original music. Give it a shot. At number 4 is Virus by Fred Mangan, a unique and visually distinct short film taking place inside a computer. Number 3 is Country Building by Paganimation, a musical brick film created for the Lego Club Show with the Pagano puppet figure design and exceptional character animation. Number 2, Egyptian Holiday by Mob Daddy, the quintessential adventure brick film with brilliant camera work, lighting, set design and voice acting. And number 1, a brick film widely considered one of the very best ever, Henri and Edmond in Copyright by Maxime Marion. A 36-minute adventure with action, comedy, pathos, great scenarios, technical qualities, voice acting, music, everything. It's essential. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2012.
Sam, you were supposed to get the box! Oh, sorry!
Number 5. The Call of Farquhar by Something's Awry Productions, a sharply written and solidly made courtroom comedy horror.
They were attempting to summon an eldritch abomination that would devour the world.
At number 4, Foster the People Houdini by Dylan Woodley. Energetic and dynamically shot, this really captures the feel of a music video. Number 3, The Taste of Victory by Twick-a-Brick. This stands above most war brick films as a more varied and accomplished film, and is also a major showcase of brick-built practical effects. Number 2 is The Duel, more incredible work from Namchild taking place in a house and with trademark dedication to in-camera effects. And number 1, Major Malfunction by Mr. Mullock. More people animate Lego kinda like this now, but it's hard to overstate how mind-blowing this cartoony and expressive animation was when this came out, and the pairing with the brilliant music choice makes this one of the most purely fun-to-watch brick films ever. Penta's picks for the top 5 brick films of 2013.
Release the hounds!
Number 5. Jeffrey and the Old Man in Jeffrey Gets a Voice Box Transplant by Joni Peppers. This series, plus Joni's other brick films, were influential in the BIM community for their cartoony and spontaneous style, gleefully rewriting the rules. Number 4, Day of the Sun, Nick Kudret's farcical brick film about North Korea that won the top prize at the Steinerei Brick Film Festival in Germany. At number 3, Bestia by Franz and Alex, a 22-minute story with many sets and wonderful design work throughout. Number 2 is The Front, Twick-a-Brick's steampunk war brick film with a grounded aesthetic and incredibly precise animation and camera movement. And number 1, Nightly News at 9 Chapter 2, Robots by Dave Pickett. This chapter is bigger and better than the first, overflowing with creativity and underpinned with thematic interest. This is some of the best use of the brick film medium. And that's as far as I got before I became distracted by other projects and also decided that YouTube Shorts is a plague on humanity. I was originally planning to continue until 2018, but I didn't actually finalise any top 5 lists beyond this. However, I did have my first place films in mind from 2014 to 2018, so I will list them here now as a bonus. My pick for the best brick film of 2014 is Coffee and Carnage by RHE. This 50-minute brick film had garnered hype with some trailers in 2007, and eventually became somewhat legendary as the long-awaited brick film that people would most like to see but all assumed would never actually be released. It took us by surprise when the film was finally released in 2014, and we were pleased to find that it was actually really good too. Some of the copyrighted music got the original upload removed, but the film can be found via the Brickfilms wiki. My pick for the best brick film of 2015 is Beyond the 11th Dimension by Sloth Paladin, or Robots with Knives. A passion project 6 years in the making, this film features an intentionally ridiculous B-movie style and large-scale sets and lighting setups. This film's demonstration of what could be done was an influence on my own Taco Trouble 2. My pick for the best Brick film of 2016 is The Revenge Song by Harry and Billy Brick. A beautifully shot, incredibly cinematic crime brick film with great sets and animation too. My pick for the best Brick film of 2017 is Sheep by Maxime Marion. Wonderfully produced in all aspects and with appealing non-minifig character animation, this Brick film feels like something ready to be aired on television. And my pick for the best Brick film of 2018 is The Cleaners by Nathan Wells and Mindgame. It's easy to declare this to be a modern classic, with its 70s film-inspired aesthetic that has proved influential. Cleverly built and shot, this was also a huge influence on me attempting to improve my own level of filmmaking and brick filming. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video will be useful. If you've made it this far, I guess I might as well plug that I actually do have a new brick film myself on the LEGO YouTube channel, if you want to know what I've been up to. Check it out if you like Minions, as you should.